I would say that I haven't met anyone else who combines the body, mind, spirit as well as you do, Allura. I have tried lots of things in my life, and they are great helpers for me right now. Like I'm a breathwork teacher and I do other things, and they are really wonderful techniques to help yourself, but you cannot heal yourself with anything else than this work. That's what I would like say.
Imagine discovering a pathway that cuts through the noise of trying to heal, to instead offer you a clear, revolutionary initiation into your most connected, abundant, loved, and purpose-filled self. A place where your dreams transform into personal reality. I'm Allura Halliwell, founder of the Consciousness Method, and it's with deep gratitude that I connect with beautiful souls who have already experienced this transformative method firsthand. They'll share how it has profoundly changed their lives and led them into inner truth. Hello, Daniela. I'm so thrilled to chat with you today. Really excited.
Me too, Allura. It's been a while that we spoke, so I always appreciate the moments we have together.
I know it's special. We've been on a special journey together. And I must say, out of a lot of people I've worked with, you have had a very special relationship to some of the processes that we've covered in like the mentorship and at retreats, especially the pain as a portal process. Do you want to just share with me a little bit about that particular process? And almost to begin with, sorry, let's back up. The journey that kind of brought you in, like what level of pain and what level of stress were you in when we met? And maybe a little bit about that process to begin, about how that shifted parts of you from the beginning.
Absolutely. So when we met, I think I've already been in this process of, I just feel like the pain was so profound and was just so strong and was there, and I was just trying to numb it because I didn't know how to deal with it. And at that point, it's been quite a few years from when things started to pile up. And I knew that I had to make a change, that I had to make a difference to feel different. But everything I was trying at that time just didn't work. And there was a time then I found another boyfriend and I was in love and everything was great. I moved to Australia, but it was almost like just another cycle that was going to bring me back to where I had to go. And that was go through the pain and just deal with what's been presented to me. And I just feel that everything that I went through already in Europe and my journey to Australia just brought me actually here to heal. And yeah, the past, I don't know how long has it been, 2 years that we've been working together. For me, it was a quite fast journey because I think my pain and like when you go to big spots and just wants to burst, just needs that little extra push. I think that's where I was. And it just, when it bursted, it just all spilled out. And I was able to kind of reach back to myself and rebuild that relationship. So yeah, it's been a long time waiting. And I feel like I was meant to come here. I was meant to meet you. And I was meant to go through this healing process. So I'm very grateful for that.
So profound. For you, the pain as a portal is something that you just naturally began to really own and develop internally. Can you describe your understanding of that process? Because I think you've got a really unique understanding of that.
Yeah, when I think about it, I felt more pain from going around in circles than actually from going through the pain. I was never afraid to go through the pain. Pain is something that I feel it's natural in our lives. I was never afraid. Well, I guess I was afraid of the pain, but what I was afraid more of is I just couldn't keep going in those circles. And I knew that there is a way out. And I knew, oh, since I met you, that way was to go through. So I was actually looking for, because I knew it works. After I went through my first portal and I just felt the relief, I knew it works. So for me, it was journey for looking for the sticky points. And like up until today, I feel like I've kind of dealt with most of my major issues. but I know that there is always more to work on. And especially now I can see those things in relationships with the people that are around me, because I see the points, for example, when somebody else is suffering and that triggers me and I feel sorry for them or I feel that suffering, I go back and I look for that stickiness and I look for that portal. But once I was able to find those big ones and like just really shift the big ones, finding the small ones, then it's easier. But you need to start with the big ones because you develop the relationships. It's like a process. It's like learning a language or like learning a maths, or it's just another skill. And I'm really upset that we've not learned this at school, because this is something that we should have all learned as children, and we never would have to end up where we are. Most people with major mental problems and issues and not even know where to look for to go back to themselves and find out pain and actually feel it and move through the portals.
Yeah, that's so profound. And I couldn't agree with you more, because that's the truth. I mean, to liberate your own essence, to liberate your energy, to liberate your consciousness, it all directs back to that pain. And transversing that fear that protects that pain is so big. And you've done it on emotional levels, but you've also done it on physical levels. And do you want to just share a little bit about the profound nature of working with the pain portal on physical levels?
Absolutely. So I honestly felt that the physical level was so brutal for me, because I felt like I have so much bigger access to my emotions. I just knew that there was something sticky. Well, the first few were pretty hard, actually, thinking back. I did have my moments where I was crying on the floor for days and months to go through them. But I always saw the light at the end of the tunnel and I knew I was going to be okay. Going through the physical pain that I feel was definitely the largest one for me with regards to pain. I've suffered with UTI, which is urinary tract infections, since I was in my 20s. And I think that's as well when I kind of became adult and I started to kind of feel the pain of the generations kind of landing with me and not knowing how to deal with it, just like pushing it from one day to another. And these infections started to appear, but I always got antibiotics, dealt with it, 3-4 days was fine. I just felt that I didn't develop any relationship with it, and it's been dragging with me for, I don't know, 15 years. And it's been very hard because it was just getting worse and worse. When the cycle came, it wasn't there every day. But when it came, when I got another infection, you can imagine the feeling of just why is this happening? And there was just so much pain and anxiety, because UTI pain is like on one of the top scales when it comes to human pain. And you cannot sleep, you are anxious, you don't know when it's going to be over, if it's going to be over, is this my life, or if is every single day from now on going to be like this, am I going to live in pain, and unable to enjoy day, unable to enjoy life, losing friends because you cannot keep your promises. There's a difficulty in relationships because you're just not yourself anymore. The worst came this year, where actually I went to see a GP who told me that my pain was actually chronic and refused to give me any antibiotics and just said, go and deal with it. And I was not okay with that. I knew at that time that was not it. I was going to fight. I was not going to just let that eat me alive. And I kind of dealt with it in two different ways. One was I connected with myself and I try to do deep dive, or where does this pain come from? Why is it happening to me? And there was a, big, I guess, a revelation for me there. But also I realized this is not okay for me. I'm not going to let someone tell me that this is my life on a physical level. So I was adamant I was going to search more help. I didn't know how then. But even though that doctor was probably looking at me, I'm like just really difficult patient, I was just like, no, this is not okay. I'm going to keep coming till you help me or till you refer me somewhere to someone who can help me. But that was kind of accompanied by myself just going deep within me and trying to find out where does this pain lie. And as I kind of dealt with a lot of emotional pain and trauma and went through a number of portals with my unloved and unworthy wounds, I just couldn't put a finger on this one. didn't know. I was like, where is this coming from? And I was really trying to form a relationship with this pain, but I was coming to the point where I was like, I can't form a relationship with you. You're not mine. This is, hey, I need you to go. And I think it was at that point when something came to me and I just felt this a really big abandonment feel. This was this big abandonment that came to me, and I understood that then that my grandmother and her mother suffered with UTIs, and actually my great grandmother died with UTI. And she died month after her husband died, and she had 7 children. So she was abandoned by her husband, and she was dying, leaving 7 children. So there was this big abandonment. Then there was kind of transformed and moved into my grandmother, and I could see the patterns, how she lived her life. She was so alone that she was pushing everybody away. And every time I had conversation with her, it was about how nobody's there for her and how she feels abandoned. But it was a mirror of her, because like it's almost like she didn't want anyone there because she was afraid to be hurt. And that was pushing people away. And then I felt this, like when I was lying there with this pain, I was like, I don't feel that way in my life, but I feel the pain of this generational trauma just being left in my body. And I just cried, and it was so beautiful because I knew that was it. That was it. And I just cried, and I cried for days. After that, and that was actually, if you remember, that was just before we were supposed to have a call together, because I was like, Allura, I need some help here because I don't know how to touch this. And I got actually referred to specialist in Melbourne. And this older lady, she's amazing. And she deals with something called chronic UTIs. And I just feel like that pain that I went through kind of opened this whole new portal and channel of, okay, you're ready to get help.
Yes.
It took me 15 years to dealing with this, and nobody was helping me. And it was just from nowhere. I got like appointment with this lady, and she was like, we need to do biopsy. I went for biopsy, and straight away she says, you've got dormant bacteria in your bladder. That means that no antibiotics, nothing can treat it. Then like these special antibiotics, there are for bacteria that is dormant. So basically the bacteria went to sleep, and now and then every 2 years or whatever would wake up and give me so much pain. But because last year, I guess I was ready to really unravel this, I was able to get the right medication, and my chronic UTI of 15 years just turned into something that was totally solvable. And I finished my antibiotics 2 weeks ago, and I've never felt better physically than I feel now.
Wow.
And that's actually not everything, because I started to deep dive in this topic of chronic UTI. And it is something that this female sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a disease, it's more like things that affect our bodies. Like one of them is endometriosis, that is just apparently these days it takes 7 years to actually uncover and get help for. There is obviously now menopause that's been recognized also, but chronic UTI is the third one. I'm sure that there is more, but chronic UTI is actually something that's not being recognized as any sort of medical condition until end of 2023. So this is fairly new. So it was a very random that there was a specialist in Melbourne who knew about it. So it almost feels like after I went in, delved through pain, and I leaned in, not knowing where it's going to take me, but knowing that I have to go there, is just so much more that was underneath it. And that was on a physical level. Well, first I had to deal with it emotionally, but then the physical reality around me then adjusted itself and just totally went, here is a solution. You don't need to suffer anymore because you resolve this within yourself. Which was, honestly, I'm just like, I'm just so grateful, like for everything. Like going through pain portals that are emotional, it's very personal, but for me, it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as this one. This one was like, I didn't know if I want to live like this, to the point, and not mentally unhappy person, but it was physically. I was like, I don't want to be in this amount of pain on a daily basis for the rest of my life. And I feel like that pain of that actually got me. It's almost nagging so much until you can't ignore it. So you have to go in.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. Daniela, I just feel so grateful to hear this.
Yeah.
deep journey into the pain. And I feel like there's almost another layer of purpose or something ignited in you around this as a cause that's bigger than you, which I feel is always at the base of any really deep wounding. You find something bigger than you that is really captures you, that you're there to evolve and support and create change in. I just feel that within your being when you're speaking.
Absolutely. I'm just ready. Honestly, I'm so ready to look more deeply in what does this and other conditions mean for women and women's bodies. Like we all do lots of like ice exposure, and I love ice exposure. Well, I think there's some studies now. What does it do to female body? But we are all going by science for male bodies.
Yes.
Especially around our periods. We need to, I think, and this is not just with regards to obviously ice, like almost every single condition in the world, it's never been studied on female bodies. Everything is only studied on male bodies. And honestly, this is igniting so much passion in me now that I just want to, I don't know what am I going to do yet, but I just want to focus on really supporting female and like our biology and just getting the help out there. If it means emotional, if it means physical, I don't know what that means yet, but I just know that there is something big that I want to be part of.
Oh my gosh, Daniela, honoring you and honoring that exploration. And I also had a similar, healing that happened for me via the pain portal through endometriosis. And I thought that was something that I had to live with, but it was actually just a deep level pain trauma response from my core pattern of my unloved wound. So when I dealt with that, it disappeared overnight. It was just, as you've expressed, really phenomenal to watch the body respond to a new level of internal reality because the density of that pain's being released. So I just can honor the depth of this work to interface with the physical work. And for you, I just want to honor as well that you're kind of a master of reality creation in that space, whereby I've seen you take this incredible intention of wanting to create your reality in such a profound way through these portals. How have you found, and especially working with the wounding, the unloved, unworthy, unknown wounding, and then some of the aspects of reality creation that we've touched in this work, how has that really supported you to create the life that you love living?
So for me, I think going through the wounds, I remember actually when we had our first retreat, when it was the first day, and what I wrote, like we wrote what we want to leave behind or what we want to create. We wrote it on a paper and then we were throwing it in a fire. And I wrote, I want to be free again. And I didn't know, obviously we didn't work together then. I didn't know what it means. Like, I just wanted to be free again. I used to be such a free person. And then the events in my life just took me, I was creating prison for myself in my own head, in my own body. And I didn't know how to deal with it or how to get out of that prison. And going through the unloved and the unworthy wounds and being really guided by you and the group that we were in, that helped me liberate. Because I went through all those portals and I went through all the pain that I could. And obviously, as I say, there is always lots to come. But I guess what I could liberate then I did. Because I guess I'm a very task-oriented person. So I was like, okay, pain here, wound here, pain here, wound here, let's do it. And it didn't obviously go that in that organized manner, but and whenever I felt there is something sticky, I delved in it and I felt it. And I wasn't once to do a couple of them, like then you're not afraid of it anymore. And it's more like, oh yeah, sticky. Okay, let's do it. And it actually becomes just part of your hygiene, how we daily brush our teeth. You go, okay, so what is sticky today? How can I deal with that? And by liberating what was within me, I was then able to look at the world from very sort of innocent eyes and outside the pain and go, okay, so now we have a sort of a clear here, like things are clear and there is no program or not a major program that's running here anymore. So what do I want to create out of it? Because I know I can create whatever I want. If I wanted to be a surfer somewhere in Gold Coast tomorrow, I can do that. If I want to, I don't know, work in metro somewhere in New York selling flowers tomorrow, I can do that. We can do anything we want, anything. But the first step is to allow ourselves to actually see the world in like through our innocent eyes, because then we will see the only thing stopping us from creating is fear. And fear freezes us, and freezes because then we are scared to move.
Yeah.
When we get liberated, like anything is possible, anything and everything at the same time, which is amazing.
It's so amazing. So amazing. And you're right, that lens of the wounding, once that's not coloring everything in your reality, it's like the confines and boundaries of that prison internally and externally, they dissolve. It's like anything can be possible. Like the world becomes your playground.
Exactly. And the fact is, we don't even need to try anymore after. Once we liberate and once we feel into what is right for us, it comes it by itself. You stop chasing it because you know it will come. And it comes like when it's ready, it just arrives. Like I remember when we started working together, I had a job and I had a boyfriend and I had a house. And after like 2 months, I was almost homeless. I had no boyfriend and no job. But I just feel like I had to quit it because it didn't work. And then it took me maybe, I don't know, 3 months. And what came was just on a different level. I got this amazing job offer that I would never expect. This job offer carried permanent residency within in Australia. I now have new beautiful partner that I love very much, and we are planning beautiful future together, and I have an amazing present together. And now when I think about future, I just see all these different millions of options, and then I laugh at it because I'm like, I can see maybe thousands of different options, but I'm sure that there's about a million that I don't know about that might just come by themselves because I'm not going to go and chase them. I'm just going to let them come.
Oh my gosh. And that radical level of trust in yourself and in a wider design, which is not limited in the wounding, is the work, right? The liberation and then the energetic liberation and then the trust of the design is so profound.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is, the trust. If you trust yourself, you stop being afraid of everything else because you know whatever comes, it's fine. Actually, I need to share something with you. You might totally laugh, but I was walking Dante, which is my Great Dane dog, in the morning, and I was just going to this local cafe place and just got my beverage, and I was walking with him with this beverage, and I was just thinking, oh my God, everything's so imperfect. That's why it's so perfect. And I just saw the perfection in everything I'm going through right now. And oh my God, no, I have got top perfectly imperfect. I cried. I cried because everything was so like imperfect. That's why it was so perfect. And by imperfect, I'm saying I'm selling my house and things are not going to plan. But I'm crying because it's so perfect. It's happening for a reason. Like it's happening because I need to wait because something better is coming. And like it's just about knowing that you can trust everything because everything's safe, really. Everything's safe. We are safe. Death's safe. If death's safe, then everything's safe.
Oh my God. Yes.
What are we worried about? Which is like these skeletons, like with spirits, and like inside of them, just like going through life. Like, what is there to worry about?
Oh my gosh, Daniela, I love that. I love that more than anything. And you're right, when death's safe, when you've traversed that fear and that dying to self process that I feel is like at the heart of so much. And I know you can experience that in other ways, but when I've done it in this work, it's like a total release of the limited version that you just become safe in the truth, that you are always safe. You've always been safe. It's always just been iterations and versions of you that have evolved you, that have kept you in the process of it in no fixed destination.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is once, I've been doing this work and once I kind of know myself in this work, of course, days come when I'm like scared or when I'm not feeling like I'm feeling like, okay, there's something is going on here. I'm like, there's something not okay. But I know that if that comes, it's nothing to do with my reality. It's nothing to do with anything else but myself. And it's something to do with I'm ready for another upgrade. I'm ready to deal with another wound or pain. And sometimes it just comes now and then and reveal itself when it's really ready to go. But it's about listening and not pushing it away.
100%. Oh my gosh. It's so profound. And when you're in that relationship with life and death and the whole thing, in wholeness. It's like game on. Anything's possible. And just to finish, Daniela, are there any words that you might share with someone that might be looking to like do this level of work? What do you think how do you think it's sort of landed for you in your journey?
I would say that I haven't met anyone else who combines the body, mind, spirit as well as you do, Allura. I have tried lots of things in my life, and they are great helpers for me right now. Like, I'm a breathwork teacher and I do other things, and they are really wonderful techniques to help yourself, but you cannot heal yourself with anything else than this work. That's what I would like say. I've been searching my whole life. I've been always very spiritually aware since I was a child, and I was looking for help. I tried traditional therapies, I tried everything, and I knew I was ready, and I knew that there was something that brought me here because I was looking for it. And I'm just really grateful that I met you, that you kind of guided me. You guided me to self-discovery and really find ways of how can I heal, because no one else can heal you, only yourself. You can only heal yourself, but what your work does, you actually help people understand how and take them on the journey. And I think I'm just very grateful.
Oh, Danielle, thank you so much. I have so much love for you.
Me too.
Oh, it's been such a gift to be on this journey with you. Wow. And let it continue.
Absolutely. Yeah, let it continue. I'm sure if you've got any more retreats, let me know. I'll be definitely interested. I always love a little bit of a self-reflection and going more into the wounds.
It's fun work.
Absolutely. And honestly, the last one was amazing with the breath work and the journeys we did, and just, yeah, just diving deep and just learning from other people who are going through maybe different portals, but it's all the same. It all comes to the same thing. It all comes to the fact that it's the conditioning, how we brought up, and the separation in this life, and how we can piece the pieces back together. And absolutely.
Yeah, as a community as well, and in person too. So yes, I've definitely got a retreat planned. I will let you know. Thank you so much, beautiful. So appreciate you. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you, and to say thank you, I'd like to share with you 3 beautiful meditations to explore your core wounding and a collection of masterclasses. You'll find these in your show notes. And if you feel the synergy to this path, know that it is available to you also.